So good morning. Sheila.
Good morning.
Nyamaza, wengine bado wamelala.
Haina shida.
You sound like you're still in bed. So we always look at the news first to know what to expecting for the day. And today there is no high volatility news except for oil, which we never trade, so it's okay with us. A few USD news, but they're not high impact news. So for the news today, we are safe. We may not be at any risk. So that is it for the news. So we can start our analysis. So let's look at our yesterday's analysis. So yesterday we were looking at Euro USD, and Euro USD we were expecting it to hit this target. This was our target. However, we said if it reached this point, then we would be looking for sells, but it didn't. Instead, it got higher. It went higher. It breached this area of SNR that we were looking at. So once it breaches this point, we'll be looking for higher highs, but our first target is what we highlighted here. If you look at it in 4 hours, this is how it looks like. So this is our first target, and once it breaches this point, we're expecting it to make higher highs. But until then, for Euro USD, I'll say there is not much to look at. For the Euro USD, there is not much to look at until it breaches that point. So for today, we'll be looking for more buys. We're looking for more buys. So for now, we are looking for entries. But remember, this is an area of interest for us. This is an SNR area. So we must be very careful in case we experience some sort of retracement. But if it breaches this point going lower, then we'll be looking for sells. If it breaches this point, we'll be looking for sells, since this is where we have our support areas at now. I don't know whether that's clear. Yeah.
Juma, good morning.
Good morning. Umeingia ukanyamaza?
Hapana, niko tu. Mi bado niko buys on Euro USD. I'm like $40 above, and I'm looking for that retest tuendelee. Si tuendelee na safari ya duko juu.
Wazi. That's what I like to hear. So yeah, so for Euro USD, it's a good buy, but let's watch for some retracement here because of this SNR area. It's a very tricky area, so let's watch out for that. So let's go for Great Britain pound. So for the Great Britain pound, we've been looking for more buys. However, we said if it breaches this point going lower, then we'll be looking for sells. Remember, our first target was here, the highlighted area, and it has hit our take profit, our first take profit. So we'll be looking for more buys, as there is no confirmation of the bearish the bears taking over the market. So we'll be looking for more buys, and when we look at it in 4 hours, it gives you a very good setup. So our first take profit will be here. After we breach that point, this will be our first take profit. After we breach this point, this SNR area that we are at, we will be looking to reach this point. But again, remember, since we are in a very sensitive SNR area, then we should also expect some sort of retracement in 1 hour chart. We might get some sort of retracement, and it might also come back to the consolidation area. but that is unlikely for now. But in case it happens, then let's be ready for it. And if it breaches the point, then we'll not be looking for any more buys in the market. Instead, we'll be looking for sells. But as of now, we are still in the buys, in the buyer's territory. And once it breaches this point, then we will be looking at this area. And if it breaches this point again, we'll be looking for higher highs. We'll be looking for new higher highs. Sijui kama that is clear.
Clear.
So the Australian dollar against the US dollar. So this is a tricky one, like we said, and we are in a SNR area. If you look at it, we are expecting to come up to this place. This is a price that we are targeting. Our first take profit was this area, and we did hit it. But now we are in a SNR area that is very, very strong. So we'll be watching out. But again, if you look at it, we realize that we've already breached this area. So after this retracement, we will be looking for more and more buys. We'll be looking for more and more buys, and our first take profit will be here. However, remember there is some sort of support and resistance in between, so we would like you to watch out for those areas. Again, remember, you will place your trades according to your account size and the lots that you would like to use. So let's be careful of the support and resistance formation that will form again on our way. But as of now, we'll be looking for more buys. So unless there is anyone who has a different view, and remember, these charts, we've been looking at them from Monday. That is why we are doing an overview, very juju, because we've been looking at them, and we're expecting, if that doesn't happen, we're expecting a reversal. But now that we've been able to breach this point, then we can confirm that we are looking for more buys. So that is it for now for the Australian dollar against the USD. So for the USD against the Canadian dollar, again, we said that we are looking at a V, so there's a possibility of a reversal. But until then, we're still in the seller's territory. And especially since it got back, it went below the recent higher high, we will be looking for more sells as at now. But let's be very careful, as it can also reverse since it has formed a very perfect V. Some people talk of M's, some people talk of different patterns, but for us, as you can see, this is a seller's territory as of now. So for now, let's be very careful when we're trading the USD Canadian dollar. We may be looking for more sells, but in case the market does consolidate for some hours, then tomorrow is when we'll be looking for a breakout. It may either buy or sell, but most likely it will sell, since the bears are still in control of the market as at now. Remember, we are also talking this from the 1 hour's point of view. If you look at it, if you look at the chart in a daily formation, then you realize that we are still in the buyer's territory. So our sales may not be a long term, and we may be looking to come to the market to come and retest this area. So in a daily chart, this is the area that we'll be retesting, and once it breaches this point, then we'll have a confirmation that is a sell. But as of now, we are still in the buyer's territory, short-termly in the seller's territory. And by short-term, I mean in 1 hour's chart. If you look at it in 1 hour's chart, or even in 30 minutes, you realize that we're still in the sells. So let's be careful when we're trading that. But again,
Juma, Juma,
mm-hmm.
How did the yesterday's candle, the daily candle, ilifunga aje?
Hivi ndio ilifunga.
Zoom in. Doji. Gravestone doji tena. Me bado tu I'm still bearish on this market.
Yeah, that's why
Hadi
I'm
kama leo
saying.
wanaenda kama wanahang hadi leo waende juu like the bulls wanaonyesha kuna nguvu. I'm still looking for sales kwenda chini kabisa.
Yeah, because we've not exhausted and we've not experienced any support area, except for now that the market is ranging. The market is in a sort of consolidation. If you look at it in 1 hour's chart, then you realize market in a consolidate. No. That is why I'm saying let's be very careful. For this is a tricky one because if it breaches this point, we'll be looking for the sales. But until then, we're still in the buyer's territory.
I have a question.
Yes.
When you say in the buyer's territory, what do you mean?
Sasa hiyo labda tuko na classes. So basically when we look at the trends, for example, when we look at the trend, Sheila, the bigger picture when you open a chart, for example, if you open a chart, this chart in 4 hours, what majorly do you think are in control? Is this the bulls or the bears?
Looks like the bulls.
It is the bulls because the bears have not yet breached. They have not yet gone to a lower level to confirm that they are in control of the market. So there are things that we use, there are parameters that we use to determine that. There are parameters that we use to determine that so that we can know where we are at. So as at now, there is a bearish market in the short term. As you can see, there are many sellers in the short term. This is 4 hours. But if we look at this market in a daily or even a weekly chart, we realize that there's somehow the bulls had taken over the market. They've just been unable to breach this point, this area. But that is why we are saying there is also a possibility that they might come back and even make higher highs. Sijui kama unaelewa hapo.
Ama tumueleze na concept ya higher highs na higher lows. When the market is on an uptrend, inaenda in form of higher highs na higher lows. So when the market now reverses and comes to a downtrend, itakuja like ita break those higher lows. So when the market breaks a higher low, the first higher low, alafu ikatai tena kurudi to the same region penye tuko tuna make higher highs, tunaweza sema sasa the market has reversed na the bears have entered the market now. Tunaweza sema now a complete downtrend imeingia sasa. Ndio to make sasa lower highs na lower lows.
Okay.
So unaona breach this point sasa, for example, if it's going up, then we'll confirm that it's a buyer's market. That is where the bulls are in control of the market.
Okay.
Umeelewa?
Yeah.
Once it makes a higher high. But remember, there is a week. We cannot ignore this week. This means that the buyers were really powerful and really wanted to breach this point. But again, this price was rejected very quickly. So we'll be looking for more buys, especially once it breaches this point. But as of now, long-termly, let's see the breakout that will happen in the consolidation that's been forming for some hours now, since yesterday. You can see this is a good consolidation. It did try retesting, and then it came back and even retested the lower low that it had made earlier. So we're expecting for it to form some sort of formation and take off the market for the buys. But in case it breaches that point again, we'll be looking for more sales. So this one is for us to watch out during the day. We'll be watching a lot of this during the day, unless there is any other question. Good.
Nope.
The Great Britain pound against Japanese yen. So we've been looking for more buys in this market, and our first take profit was this one, and we did hit it yesterday. Ian, will capture a trade ama bado? Ian.
Siku capture.
So this was our first take profit, and we said once we reach this point, then we'll be careful as we will experience some sort of resistance here. There's a possibility of coming down, but again, we are looking for more buys since we are still in the buyer's territory, and if you look at it keenly, you will realize that we've already been able to breach this point, this area, to the higher side. You can see that we were able to breach this area to the higher side. So this is just a sort of formation giving us what I call discounts for us to get the market, for us to buy when the price is lower than what we are having right now in the market. So we should be expecting some sort of retracement, and then we'll get our buys. So for the entries and exit, like I always say, you can also always consult us privately, because now this is just an overview of the market and what we're expecting for the day. So once there is a retracement here, we'll be looking for more buys, and by more buys, then our first SNR area is up here. This is our SNR area. This is what we're expecting in the long term that we'll achieve. So this is our first take profit, and actually our last in this scenario. But again, there was sort of some formation of double top. If you look at it in 4 hours, see that there was a double top formation. So there is also a possibility that the bears are still not over the market, and once it breaches this area, then we'll confirm it as a sell. But for now, we are still in the buys. We're expecting it to breach this point, but in case it doesn't, then we may be looking for sells. So let's be careful again at when we're looking at the Great Britain pound against the Japanese yen. This is the area that we'll be watching out closely. This area, if it breaches that area, we might be looking for more sells. But as at now, we are still in the buyers territory, and we are looking to make higher highs. So some sort of retracement will happen, and then we can get in the market and buy. But remember, risk management, that is why we give two sides of the coin, because you can never be 100% sure. And again, we are using price action. So that is why, Ian, if you look at the candlesticks, what do you think about the Great Britain pound against the Japanese yen? Yesterday, for example.
For me, we need to place these charts at the middle, but see on the daily is still beautiful for the bulls. So the 4 hour.
That is it.
So for the first time tuko tunaelekea where actually the bulls walikuwa wamefika for the first time. There is a point where the sellers walikuwa na drop for the market, alafu kiasi the bulls wakaingia, lakini actually hawakuwa na nguvu. Then the bears took the trend actually na wakaendeleza hadi kwa chini. So this time walikuja wakabridge this time, like the bulls came and bridge that point and actually gave us a dragonfly doji. Like hiyo dragonfly doji inaonyesha kwamba ili test the market. So actually kuna venye market ilikuwa ishakuja hapa in the 4 hours, actually it passed ilitoboa the resistance, actually ikatoka outside the resistance point. So actually it bridge na volume kiasi, then the dragonfly doji plus the hammer, hiyo sasa mimi naweza sema the market actually was testing its water. Juu ukiangalia the example of the dragonfly doji na useme mtu ameenda mtoni ama ameenda penye kuna maji mingi or a pool, na uingize mguu mmoja ndani, ukiingiza mguu mmoja ndani ndio ujue the depth of the market. So actually hapo hivyo the bears tried to push the market actually down kiasi, but actually unaona the bulls were very present hapo na wakarudisha the market na wakafunga kama dragonfly doji. Then hapo hivyo tunaweza sema the market inajaribu kwa the last 4 hour ikahama hii. Alafu sasa I'll be looking for the kama isha kuja hapo hivyo mara mbili, I'm looking for the dragonfly doji act kama support. Isipo hacked then kiasi tarudi chini, lakini I'm still very bullish in this market. To take out the higher points.
Yes, so we are looking for more buys. That is what we are positive at. But in case, again, always remember, these are not fixed rules. Sometimes the market, as well as say, the market has its own brain. So we might do our analysis very well, but again, some even unexpected news come in and then they take us out. So that is why we emphasize on good risk management. And again, the times, we always watch out at 10, that is the London market, and the New York market at 4. 3:30 as well. Sometimes there's a lot of news. That is why we even start with the economic calendar. So make sure that you have a calendar that you always watch every morning before you start trading. So that is it for the Great Britain pound against Japanese yen. And as we've said, we'll be targeting this price. This will be our price, that this will be a target price. But always remember that anything can happen in between, so risk management is very important. So unless anyone has a question, you can type it in the chat question, we'll look at it. So for now, let's go for oil, the US oil. So we've been looking for oil since here. We were expecting it to turn around, and it did hit this area and did turn around, and our first take profit was here. And so yesterday we were expecting some sort of retracement and then to come back in, continue with the buys, and that is what exactly happened. When you look at it in 1 hour, you can see that the market did come down a little bit and then took off. It's also experiencing some sort of retracement, but again, we are positive that it will hit our take profit. But this is now our new area to watch out, as it is our SNR area for now. So in case this area is breached to the downside, then we may still say that the sellers are still in control. But since they've breached this area, the first area, we are very positive that it will go up. So do not be very quick to sell as well, since there's a lot happening in the news about oil. So we might be looking for more buys and more buys. This will be a first take profit, and once we hit that take profit, then we'll be looking at making more higher highs, this being our first target. So that is it for the oil, unless anyone has a comment on that. Okay, let's go for silver. Silver, I don't know if there is anybody who trades silver here, but silver has been behaving well. So we were expecting silver to make higher highs, but it has been caught up in the SNR area. And as you can see in 1 hour's chart, this is our SNR area, and this was our first target. It was hit, so silver did hit our take profit. I remember the first time I analyzed it with you guys, we were around here, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, because the other analysis I was doing it alone, but this is where we got in. If you are trading silver, and up to this point, this was our first target. It has been caught up with this SNR area, and so we're expecting it to, once it finishes this SNR area, it might make higher highs. But again, this is an area to watch out for, as these are very, very sensitive area. You can see that it tried to come back down, but this price was rejected very quickly, and that is why we can see that there was some wicks that formed. So we're expecting it to make higher highs, but not without a fight. So there might be some sort of range or a consolidation before it takes off. That is it for the silver. Now for the gold did hit our first take profit, but again, it never did go higher. If you look at it in 4 hours, you'll see that gold never went beyond this price that we had highlighted. It just hit this area that we were expecting it to hit, and it never went higher. So like we said yesterday, there is a possibility that this price will come back down here in the consolidation area. And yesterday, and even today in the morning, there was a lot of movement where the bears took over the short-term market in 1 hour and came back into the consolidation area. They've not yet exhausted it. So we are still looking for more buys, but for now, like I said, we might experience some sort of retracement and range and some consolidation. That's what is happening. See some big movements, and then it forms some sort of support, a big movement, forms some sort of resistance going up. So the gold market is a bit tricky for now. So let's watch out for that. Remember, like we always say, if it hits this area, if it breaches this area, we'll be looking for sells. If it breaches this area going upside, we'll be looking for more higher highs. But as of now, I'm not sure whether you're supposed to trade gold. I would suggest that you stay away from the gold market, as we do not know how or when it will react. Remember, sometimes not trading is the best trade that you can do. When you're not sure of a market, then I think the best way to do it is to stay in the market. And if you've been trading, then you know what gold is capable of, especially if you have a small account. So my suggestion for now is that gold is not clear. Let's avoid it for now. I think that is it for today, unless anyone has a question.
Tumuulize Kendi kama kuna any chart anaweza share, anataka kuangaliwa any chart.
Charts zangu actually ni zenye hizi Euro USD to USD CAD. Those are my charts, so they are good for now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you're comfortable with what we said?
Yeah, I'm very comfortable. Najiuliza tu mbona sika na join hizi meetings kitambo.
Karibu tunafanyanga hii kitu kila asubuhi. Hii hutusaidia because most of our analysis go well. Sometimes zina take long, kama sasa this one we've been waiting for it to perform. Unaona tulikuwa tuna expect after the V, and we were also expecting to after hitting this area ipate some level of support. So if it breaches this area, we'll be looking for sales, but until then we're still looking for buys. This is a bullish market for us. We're still very positive that this is a bullish market, but in case it does again, remember, as a trader, you need to be very, very flexible. You don't need to be rigid. The market is not yours. You're not the market maker. You're not controlling the market with your $2,000. So this is it. Euro USD as well, tumesema. So I think that is it for today. And yeah, let's invite our friends and other colleagues that we trade with to join us every morning as we do this. That is it for today, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Have a nice morning.
You too.
Yeah. Have a good day, guys.